भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 24, verses 51 and 52. Shamashroni adhirochishnu dukula swarna mekhalam samacharva angri janghoru nimna janu sudarshanam. The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. Purport. Lord Shiva is one of the 12 great authorities mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. These authorities are Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Vaya, Vaisa, Vayasaki, or Shukdev Goswami, and Yamraj. The impersonalists who generally worship Lord Shiva should learn of the transcendental Satchidananda Vigraha of the Lord. Here, Lord Shiva kindly describes the details of the Lord's bodily features. Thus, the impersonalist's argument that the Lord has no form cannot be accepted under any circumstance. Text 52. Padashrat Padma Palash Rochisha Nakadyubhi Nonantaragam Vidhunvata Pradarshaya Swiyam Apasta Sadvasam Padam Guru Marga Gurus Tamo Jusham. Translation. My dear Lord, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower, which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of a conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours, which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva was thus described the has thus described the bodily features of the Lord authoritatively. Now he wants to see the lotus feet of the Lord. When a devotee wants to see the transcendental form of the Lord, he begins his meditation on the Lord's body by first looking at the feet of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the transcendental sound form of the Lord. And the 12 cantos are divided in accordance with the transcendental form of the Lord. The first and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are called the two lotus feet of the Lord. It is therefore suggested by Lord Shiva that one should first try to see the lotus feet of the Lord. This also means that if one is serious about reading Srimad Bhagavatam, he must begin by seriously studying the first and second cantos. The beauty of the lotus feet of the Lord is compared to the petals of a lotus flower, which grows in the autumn season. By nature's law, in autumn, the dirty or muddy waters of the rivers and lakes become very clean. At that time, the lotus flowers growing in the lakes appear very bright and beautiful. The lotus flower itself is compared to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the petals are compared to the nails of the feet of the Lord. The nails of the feet of the Lord are very bright. As Brahma Samhita testifies, Ananda Chinmay Sad Ujjvala Vigrahasya. Every limb of the transcendental body of the Lord is made of Ananda Chinmay Sad Ujjvala. Thus, every limb is eternally bright. As sunshine dissipates the darkness of this material world, the effulgence emanating from the body of the Lord immediately dries up the darkness in the heart of the conditioned soul. In other words, everyone serious about understanding the transcendental science and seeing the transcendental form of the Lord must first of all attempt to see the lotus feet of the Lord by studying the first and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. When one sees the lotus feet of the Lord, all kinds of doubts and fears within the heart are vanquished. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in order to make spiritual progress, one must become fearless. Abhayam sattva samshuddhi. Bhagavad Gita 16.1. Fearfulness is the result of material involvement. It is also said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.237. Bhayam dvitiya nivishata shyat. Fearfulness is a creation of the bodily conception of life. As long as one is absorbed in the thought that he is this material body, he is fearful. And as soon as one is free from the material conception, he becomes Brahma Bhuta or self realized and immediately becomes fearless. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Bhagavad Gita 1854. Without being fearless, one cannot be joyful. The bhaktas, the devotees, are fearless and always joyful because they are constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. It is also said, Evam prasanna manaso bhagvat bhakti yogata bhagvat tattva vignanam mukta sangasya jayate. Bhagavatam 1 to 20. By practicing Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, one becomes fearless and joyful. Unless one becomes fearless and joyful, he cannot understand the science of God. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. This verse refers to those who are completely liberated from the fearfulness of this material world. When one is so liberated, he can really understand the transcendental features of the form of the Lord. Lord Shiva therefore advises everyone to practice Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, as will be clear in the following verses. By doing so, one can become really liberated and enjoy spiritual bliss. It is also stated, Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The Lord is the supreme spiritual master, and the bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord is also a spiritual master. The Lord from within enlightens the devotees by the effulgence of the nails of his lotus feet, and his representative, the spiritual master, enlightens from without. Only by thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord and always taking the spiritual master's advice can one advance in spiritual life and understand Vedic knowledge. Yasya devi parabhakti yatha devi tata khuro tasye tasyeti kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. Thus, the Vedas, Shvetashvara Upanishad 6.23, enjoin that for one who has unflinching faith in the lotus feet of the Lord, as well as in the spiritual master, the real import of Vedic knowledge can be revealed. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्तस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदन्तिकं नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तुरि हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुश्च च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः. So, in today's verses, we can see that Lord Shiva himself is glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's mentioning that how is he, how beautiful is he. Even his nails, are so beautiful that it cannot be compared anything in this whole cosmic material creation. So we cannot imagine how beautiful is Krishna. You know, how beautiful is Krishna. When we get mesmerized by this material world and the fantasized, infatuated by the beauty of this world, we just cannot imagine how beautiful Krishna is. We can just only have a instance of what it might have, what it must be. Because Prabhupada mentions that if you see the art, you just imagine how the artist is. Yes, and that's why in the last one he Prabhupada mentioned, yesterday Devi Parabhakti Yata Devi Tatha Kuro. So only when we have faith in the words of the spiritual master and the Lord, then these things will be cleared. Yes. Now the purport and everything is so big that so many things can be said. Um, but we'll focus on this point as we always focus on. Prabhupada is mentioning that because there is faith, then there is understanding. Okay. So what does it mean? That, okay, if I know how to speak English, if I know how to read English, if I am like, a scholar of English, yes, then I can understand correctly how and what the words mean of Bhagavatam. Yes, that is what we naturally conclude, right? If I can speak the language, obviously I'll understand somebody else. Yes, it is as simple as that. So, if we apply the same thing, if I am perfect in English, then I know perfectly what Bhagavatam is saying. At least what Prabhupada is mentioning in his purports. But this is not what this sloka is saying. This means that it's not my expertise in English, that how much do I know from the Oxford Dictionary, or how much do I know how Sanskrit, that I am going to understand what the Vedas and Shastras are telling me. Yes, that's why impersonalists and Mayavadis are totally rejected. Why? Because it is not Yastadeve Parabhakti. Yes, you have to be a devotee. And devotee of whom? Devotee of Krishna. Yes, so the Supreme Lord. If you are not, and if you are a devotee of somebody else, you are not going to understand what is Bhagavatam. Yes. If I am a devotee of some other demigod, it is clear that I won't be able to understand what Bhagavatam is saying. Why? Because it goes hand in hand. If I understood what Bhagavatam is saying, then I understood that I don't have to worship the demigods. Yes, and that's why I don't worship the demigods. Okay, because we all are engineers. We've come from India and all, we know what we are talking. So we are going to make it philosophical. So it is Raj. Oh, I think Shamini Mataji is. You want to? I think you are not on mute. So, but thank you, Mata. I thought you wanted to say something. So I thought it was like, oh no, no, we don't want this. So, but I will continue. So then the thing is that where were we? Yeah, the logical understanding that even if I know logic, because I'm an engineer, I'm this, and I'm a PhD, and I come to the temple, I've been coming for so many years, then I know what it means to be a devotee. No, it still does not mean that. Why? Because you have to be a devotee. Yes, how a devotee? Yasya deve parabhakti, yata deve tatha guru. Yeah, there is unflinching faith in the lotus feet of the Lord. And how does that faith come up? By association of devotees. Yes, one might say that I have done so many studying and everything and all. Yes, there is association with Srila Prabhupada, but the faith and attachment to Prabhupada will come because we have association of the devotees who have faith in Prabhupada. Yes, and that's why the middle people are very important between us and the Acharya. Yes, that's why the Guru Parampara system is very important. Why? Because if I don't surrender unto my Guru, the Guru Parampara system, then I am not going to understand. That is the system put in place by Krishna. Yes, it is not like, oh, yes, I will, because I will chant 64 rounds, I am going to understand Krishna. No, that is also not possible. Yes, like Haripasha Prabhu once was mentioning, they like no level of sadhana, we are going to understand the Lord. But, but, because the Abhideya is given to us, yes, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana, the Abhideya is given to us that in what mood we should do our sadhana, even though we might be perfect or imperfect, then the Lord is in grasp. Okay? What does that mean? That the Abhideya is mentioning that what should be the intent and the mood. Yes? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is setting up the whole mood and intent of the Sambandha which you are going to apply. Yes? So, Sanatan Goswami gives us the Sambandha and the everything because Hari Bhakti Vilas and Sambandha is given by him. But the mood and intent is given by Rupa Goswami. And that's why we are Rupanugas. Yes? Yes, we are Rupanugas. Because we are following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. We who intent is following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. Yes. So to have full faith in the system, in Srila Prabhupada, in our acharyas, will give impart the knowledge of the Shastras. Then only. It's not because I know I have a PhD in English or I have a PhD in Sanskrit or I am this person. I can manage things properly. I can celebrate this festival properly, or I can organize things properly, or I can dress the Lord properly. That's why I know what is bhakti, and that is how we qualify. That is what we think. Most of the times we think this way. I have thought about this so many times, and that's why I'm sharing this. Otherwise, oh, where would it come from, right? But the thing is that you naturally think that way. That yes, someone as a very high class devotee, because this person knows so many things, or this person can do these things, that's why they are senior. But that also does not mean that we put down that person. Yes, it is for that person to understand that this is not the skill which we are looking for. What are we looking for? We are looking for the devotion and dedication to Srila Prabhupada and the Lord. That makes one special. Yes, that makes one special. It's not the austerity that makes one special. It's not me getting up early is going to make the Lord take me back home, back to Godhead. No, that's not possible. He's independent. Even after doing chanting, not necessarily he'll take us back home, back to God. But why will he take us back home, back to God? Because we are trying to develop the mood, the devotion of unalloyed devotional service. That is what our desire is. So, our desire is going to make us worthy of going back home, back to Godhead. And what should be our desire? Yes, like we have Shikshashtakam, right? Yes, we have Ashlishava Padaratam Pinashtuma Tinadapi Sunichena. So we want to do Ahetuki Apratihata Bhakti. We want unalloyed devotional service unto the Lord. And because we are trying for with that desire, we are going to do kirtan with that desire. We are going to do the festival with that desire. We are going to celebrate Janmashtami for Krishna's pleasure. Yes, because that is the only way. That is how our acharyas have taught us, and that is the only way. Our acharyas have taught us that yes, we should be preaching. Yes, we should be doing book distribution. We should be doing Harinam. Yes, and by following and by unflinching faith. Yes, that yes, I will get great success if I have faith in my spiritual master, if I have faith in Srila Prabhupada. And so, just by doing that, we will get the success. That is guaranteed. Then we will understand what the Shastras say. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj did not know he was Anguta Chhap. He did not know even how to write his name. Yes, he was so illiterate. But his disciple is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yes. So Why are these given? These extremities are given to tell us again and again. It's not about the externals. Yes, like Vitarasura's story. It's not about the externals. It is not. Yes, one can be a demon, but within his heart there is devotion for the Lord. He will go back home, back to Godhead. Why? Because he's following the orders of the Lord. Because he has faith in the Lord. Because he is not worshipping the demigods. He's not worshipping some other personality. He's given up everything. Why? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and that's what he's doing. And that's why the purport of the Shastras will be given to that person. And hence he will go back home, back to Godhead. He will attain the lotus feet of the Lord, the beautiful lotus feet of the Lord. Yes. So we have to be careful that we also have to decipher that what is actual bhakti and what are we developing. Are we developing skill or are we developing devotion? Yes. If we are developing skill, for whom are we developing the skill? Is it to for the Lord or is it for myself? Or is it just I want to be famous? you know it is very convoluted. Maharaj was mentioning that the weeds and the bhakti lata grow together, and sometimes because I have name, fame, prestige, I start thinking that I'm a senior devotee because I have name, fame, prestige, and so I'm thinking the weed is the devotion. Tomorrow, if I don't have name, fame, prestige, that means, oh, I did something wrong in bhakti. you know but it has nothing to do with that. And that's so scary. That is very scary because it's easy to say all these things. But when it comes, when, the time comes, it's very difficult to give up these things, to give up status, pride, and position. Very difficult. Not everybody can give up. 99% of the people are going to have problems with that. And it is an internal struggle. And that's where our devotion comes up. Whether we were doing it for Krishna or whether were doing it for name, fame, prestige. And it will come for every devotee, guaranteed. It's not like, oh, it won't come for this person because he's too young, or because this person because he doesn't know anything. No, even if you don't know any skill, it will show up somewhere, and then our behavior will determine how far we are in bhakti. Yes. So we'll stop here today. Thank you very much.